Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Sandro Bueri and I focus on behavior in business, and I focus on the impact of the levers that business leaders can pull to drive performance and culture. This is the week that was, your go-to series for fresh perspectives on how culture shapes the success of organizations. Today we're diving into a story that captures the tension between hypergrowth, governance, risk and culture, all inside one of Europe's most provocative fintechs. This week, Revolut surged to an astonishing 75 billion valuation after a fresh secondary share sale. That's a 65% jump in just 15 months, and it makes Revolut Europe's most valuable fintech. Behind the headline is a bigger question. Can Revolut's culture, governance and risk maturity keep pace with its valuation? Because when a company stops being a startup and becomes a near systemic player, culture moves from being an internal issue to being a systemic, strategic risk factor. Let's remind ourselves of what is an incredible story. 40 million customers, rapid international expansion, an aggressive product-first strategy, and the ability to enter markets faster than most banks can schedule a meeting. But the rise hasn't been smooth. Regulators have asked questions about controls. Former employees have described a pressure cooker culture. There have been delays in obtaining key licenses and debates about profitability and financial reporting. So, this valuation is truly breathtaking, but the culture story underneath is complicated. And as we know, you can scale technology quickly, you can't scale behavior that fast. As always, let's look at this story through three lenses, starting with the leadership story. Revolut's leadership has always framed the company as a high performance, high accountability, high intensity organization. The message has been move fast, break barriers, push limits. That tone has created extraordinary innovation, but also risk, because the leadership now needs to send a different signal, a signal that discipline, control, governance and conduct matter just as much as growth. Tone setting at this stage isn't about passion or urgency, it's about maturity. And that shift must be clear, consistent and reinforced through behavior at every level. This is the leadership test. Can Revolut evolve from startup aggression to institutional discipline without losing its edge? The second lens that I want to talk about is the lens of opportunity management. Let's be clear, the opportunity here is enormous. Revolut can use its scale and valuation to build world-class risk and compliance functions, mature governance structures, strengthen regulatory relationships globally, and shape itself into the first truly global European financial super app. But the risks are equally large. If behaviours don't evolve, regulators may slow expansion. If morale suffers, talent may drift. If culture doesn't stabilise, the company could become too brittle to sustain its scale. So opportunity management here is about pace regulation, knowing when to accelerate innovation and when to consolidate the foundations. Our final lens are what I refer to as the 5 behavioural levers, starting with hiring. Revolut must now hire for capability and maturity, not just intensity. It needs senior operators in risk, compliance, finance, operations, and behavioural governance. Characters who bring stability, judgment, and credibility, not just speed. This is where culture turns from instinct to architecture. In terms of tone setting, leadership must communicate a new balanced message. Velocity is important, but sustainability is essential. And they must check that teams across engineering, product risk, and customer operations have heard and understood the shift. Our third lever is training. Training needs to build skills around conduct and customer fairness, financial crime control, risk awareness, regulator expectations, and awareness of behaviour in high pressure environments. This means helping teams understand why discipline matters, not just what the processes are. Our fourth lever focuses on incentives. Incentives must reward sustainable growth, customer outcomes, risk management, and the creation of long-term value, not just speed, releases, or raw volume. Disincentives need to discourage behaviours that cut corners, overwhelm capacity, or push risk downstream. And finally, in terms of performance management, performance reviews should explicitly assess how leaders deliver, not just what they deliver. That includes behaviour in audits, risk events, customer complaints, regulator interactions, and people leadership. Because in companies this size, behaviour is performance. The Revolut story is a powerful reminder that valuation is not just validation. A company becomes truly successful when it grows fast, but when it grows well, when culture, governance, and discipline scale in proportion to ambition. Revolut has the opportunity to become a global financial powerhouse. The question is whether its culture and behavioural architecture will rise to meet its valuation. Because at 75 billion, culture is no longer an internal issue. It's a strategic determinant of survival. So that's it for this week's episode of The Week That Was. If you found this useful, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and please share your thoughts. As always, remember, culture isn't what you say, it's what you do when no one's watching. Thank you, and see you next week.